Good morning and good morning. Thank you. It's an honor to be invited to this forum. Denmark has been one of the countries with whom we have been associated for over 3 decades, enabling Danish companies through technology transformation. It is a pleasure for us to discuss the building of green strategic partnership between India and Denmark. My warm regards to the people of Denmark, its leadership, and the healthcare workers for Denmark's very successful approach to the pandemic. Over the past few months, TCS has been faced with significant global challenges, and we were not alone in that. But we have quickly responded and ensured continuity of business for TCS and our customers, and tried to do our best to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. But as it is normal, adversities bring the best of transformations in the world. And during this whole process, TCS launched a new concept called Secure Borderless Workspaces, wherein we could move around 450,000 people across 46 countries to work and support critical businesses in a remote and a secure manner. And this particular initiative of ours has left many businesses to sustain themselves in terms of whether it is insurance companies dealing with high number of claims. Some of our customers dealt with that. Whether it is supporting customers ramp up their production of COVID-19 kits, keeping alive the financial trading in various countries, keeping grocery stores active through technology, and many more such things. But the beauty of this initiative, the transformation that we have achieved, is that it is all green, with less people commuting every day to work and still being able to support all these critical infrastructure has ushered something new into the world, and that is completely green. And when I say what that new is, this whole model of what we call as secure borderless workspaces ushered a new future of work that is distributed, that is secure, and location independent. And the future has been accelerated in the sense that what we would have accomplished in terms of a long period of time in minimizing the pressure on infrastructure through significant levels of physical commutes, it has been ushered faster through this mechanism. And TCS, due to the advantages of the secure borderless workspaces, has announced a vision that by 2025, only 25% of the workforce at any given point in time is required to work out of the workspaces that we have. This reduces the significant amount of pressure that is there on the environment and also on the infrastructure by creating a secure way to work in this new paradigm of work. So I just want to say that this particular initiative is a great way to usher in the new world. I was listening to Mr. Amitabh Kant at the beginning saying that if we were to apply the same rules of the past into the future, we will need many more Earths to deal with. But such transformational ways of working and the future of work is going to ensure that we are able to manage this world within a limited infrastructure that we can afford in a green manner. So that is one of the key things that we have looked at. And we have obviously worked very closely with our customers in Denmark as well, and in providing this technological knowledge to be able to usher in a green future using the transformation power of technology. Of course, in Denmark, we work with some of our esteemed customers, whether it is the Tele Denmark Corporation, with whom we do a lot of work. We work with the Danish railways in enabling their technology transformations. And Denmark has been at the forefront of green initiatives for decades. We see new initiatives by the government more recently with green housing and the climate proposals for energy, industry, and waste. These changes tie in with ambitions of Europe at the European level, but Denmark obviously is in the lead in these areas and is kind of one of the leading countries among the industrialized economies. And the EU has recently announced their priorities for the coming years and have specifically named the Green Deal, digitalization, building resilience as the three pillars for the coming years. This new economic model is being developed because we all have to think differently. IT infrastructure and digital spine will be needed to literally support this green digital and resilient future. At TCS, we share the vision of Denmark and EU, and we look forward to building this future together with you. Digital infrastructure and secure borderless workspaces can reduce the pressure on the physical infrastructure and offer a very green path towards the future. So that is my take on infrastructure, and we are very pleased to be in this forum. Thank you very much.
India is of great importance, and we have for years had strong operations in India, serving the Indian home markets as well as international markets. We have major offices in Delhi and Chennai and foresee growth in both locations due to access to highly skilled engineers and due to interesting market outlooks in India for some of our key services as outlined in previous presentations. Diving into the topic, I've been asked to say a few words about infrastructure and green conversion. Given the time available, I will focus on the transportation sector within infrastructure. Okay. I believe we here are touching upon two of the true core challenges to all countries. On the one hand, we witness continuous population growth and urbanization, creating a huge need for strong and resilient transport infrastructure solutions. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, we need to curb our pollution and cope with the climate crisis, a pollution that is also a consequence of transportation. Alone in Denmark, transportation constitutes more than 1/3 of our carbon footprint, and transportation leads to air quality problems in our cities. Based on my visits to India, I would expect that you can all recognize this picture. However, infrastructure development is essential for economic growth, a theme that has been touched upon also today. We need to be able to move people and goods between cities and into cities. For this, we need a balance between air traffic, railway traffic, and road traffic that meets the demands of society. From where we stand today, I believe we have two ways forward. We can continue walking the old path, delivering transport solution without considering the impact on climate, or walk a new path, killing two birds with one stone, I may say, incorporating strong green ambitions into our plans for how to develop our transportation infrastructure. Not surprisingly, I will advocate the latter path. What that entails is a distinct focus on planning, making sure that investments are aligned and thereby moving the entire transportation system in the desired direction. Overall, public mass transport solutions appear more climate-friendly and better at coping with congestion than private solutions. They are more climate-friendly because, as a general rule, they are able to transport more persons for each carbon dioxide ton emission, and they are more efficient towards congestion because they use less city space. In particular, that goes for transport modes that can be electrified. As such, I think metros, light rails, and rapid bus transit modes of transportation are key part of the solution to the challenges discussed. However, there are also two caveats to raise here. First, the electrification of transport is of course only the better solution if electricity is produced in a sustainable way. This puts demands on the overall green transformation of our societies, not least the energy sector, which has also been discussed today. Secondly, we right now, as a consequence of the corona crisis, witness dramatic drops in use of public transportation, even in cities where the epidemic seems under control. The question is, of course, if this change in behavior will be lasting. However, it is my firm belief that we'll be able to return to pre-corona usage of public transport in the not too distant future, perhaps when a vaccine has been invented. In COWI, we've had the fortune of participating in a high number of projects in recent years where green conversion and building mass transport systems have gone hand in hand. Not least in our Scandinavian home markets. Here in Denmark, that includes the metro in Copenhagen, a project that has been truly transformative for urban transport and for the entire urban development of our capital. Recent experiences also includes light rail solutions in the second and third largest cities of Denmark in Odense and Aarhus, and also bus rapid transport solutions in Aalborg. All projects are electrified, and more than 70% of the electricity in Denmark is produced using renewable energy sources. As such, these projects are instrumental to green transformation of Denmark. Final reflection, I believe we should emphasize the importance of developing infrastructure with reduced carbon footprint. The carbon emission related to production of concrete structures constitutes a significant part of the global emission. And with the ambition of infrastructure development in India, just as outlined by Mr. Desai from Larsen & Toubro most recently, this is a core element to tackle. As an example, COWI is currently the designer of one of the largest bridges in India, large bridge project, Mumbai Trans-Harbour Link between Mumbai and Navi Mumbai. We carry out the design for exactly Larsen & Toubro and the Japanese contractor IHI for more than 10 kilometers of the 18-kilometer long link. Innovative engineering solutions for the substructure of the bridges has led to savings of approximately 20% in materials, corresponding to a carbon dioxide reduction of around 20,000 tons, compared to a more traditional design. Hence, I see it as a responsibility of engineering consultants towards the society to design optimized solutions utilizing a minimum of materials, designed and constructed in a manner such that it is safe, durable, and ensuring a long service life of the infrastructure. Finally, we need to ensure that the materials, to the largest possible extent, can be recycled when we reach the end of the service life of the structure. On behalf of COWI, I will finalize by saying we are looking forward to continue to contribute to this journey of building a green partnership between Denmark and India.
Thank you very much for inviting me, Mr. Bharat Lal, and Your Excellency Ambassador Ajit Gupta. Thank you very much for arranging this very, very important seminar on sustainable solutions and the collaboration and partnership between Denmark and India. I'm very happy on behalf of Grundfos to provide a perspective on water and the challenges, but also the potential solutions there is to this vitally important topic. Because water is indeed, together with climate, probably the biggest challenge that humanity is facing right now. And there is no doubt that the water challenges with either too little, too much, or too dirty water is a challenge for the world that is only going to increase. And in some parts of the world, like your very fine home country, it is already a substantial challenge. Myself personally, but also all of my 19,000 colleagues spread over 60 different countries, are passionate about water and energy efficiency, and we happily share our perspectives on that. Now, Denmark, and thank you very much for reaching out to Denmark as a partner on this potential topic, is a place that has come far on the water agenda. My colleague from Danfoss, I believe, has shown how Denmark has been able to decouple the GDP growth with energy consumption. And likewise, the exact same thing has actually happened on water. Over the past 40 years, the Danish GDP has grown by 90%, while we have actually reduced our water consumption by 42%. And that has happened through really realizing water is a scarce and valuable resource, and conserving water through new and intelligent ways has been a very, very high focus, and successfully so. And this is why it is so vitally important to ensure that not only investments in infrastructure, but also smart technological investments and innovations in areas such as how to conserve water in networks that might otherwise leak, but also in smart ways of bringing drinking water and water for farmers to areas that might not even have a network through, for example, solar-driven off-grid solutions where there can both be ways to get the water, to treat the water, and to safely distribute the water. Those technology solutions exist today, and they are possible to introduce. And likewise are intelligent solutions to significantly limit the losses in leaking water networks through intelligent sensor solutions for how to adjust the water pressure in there. So these are just a couple of very tangible, specific and existing challenges can indeed be addressed effectively. But allow me also to circle around the energy and water nexus, as we call it, because actually 40% of all the water costs are related to energy. And that means that energy-efficient water solutions are also really, really important. And this is a way both to lower the operational costs substantially, but it is also a way to ensure that the water solutions, what is needed to get clean drinking water and water for farmers, does not unnecessarily increase the pollution and the negative climate impacts. That is also possible through energy-efficient solutions and through off-grid solar-driven solutions that are available already today. So this is just a few tangible examples of how existing technology, how best practices from Denmark can work, and we assure can work also in a much more scalable and much larger country in India. We are already present from Grundfos in India. We have created more than 400 jobs. We have 2 plants. And very importantly, we have an innovation center in Chennai who come up with some of our not least smart digital solutions to the challenges we face all over the world. So we are very happy and proud to be represented in India, and we have plans to certainly not only continue, to also hopefully to extend that presence. So in summary, Sustainable Development Goal number 6 is what this is about, the water solutions, married with Sustainable Development Goal number 13 on fighting climate and accelerated through SDG 17 with partnerships is something we believe we can address, and is something we from Denmark, but also from Grundfos, are committed to contribute to.
There's a lot of things going on in terms of the Indo-Danish water collaboration. There's things going on in India as well as in Denmark and Copenhagen. From Grundfos' perspective, Morten, what would you suggest could be some very tangible next steps that you would like to see, and just your perspectives overall on the collaboration model?
And I think that there is a huge potential, both with relates to the just recently suggested Jal Jeevan mission aiming at the rural area. As Mads just stated, there is a lot of rural areas where solar power pumps give. Likewise, as Mr. Kant earlier discussed and touched upon, urban water management definitely is a huge area, and basically a lot of Danish companies has a strong competencies within this area. So absolutely, that is something we would like to absolutely support from Grundfos' side. It is about scale, definitely, and for now we have around 400 colleagues in India, as briefly stated, and they are not only targeting India as such, but there is also a global market. The solar-powered water solutions in the country of India is around 40,000, and there is a global presence of these in several hundred thousand. So both areas, addressing rural India as well as the urban water management, absolutely makes sense.
Well, thank you. You see, Danish companies have been quite active in India, but I think they have been participating in the Indian water market in an individual or a company-specific manner. So Grundfos is active, and Mads mentioned the solar-powered pumps. I believe they've sold about more than 40,000 solar-powered pumps. In addition to their other activities, Kamstrup has sold some smart meters. The Danish Water Forum, Danish Hydrological Institute has about 50 professionals. They have done a lot of work in India in terms of water resources management, watershed management, flood management, etc. What I would recommend is that if a water alliance or a consortium can be formed by Danish companies, and then they can approach, say, the cities in India or districts and offer an integrated solution. Because you have companies which are active in the consulting role. There are some smaller companies which are also active. There are companies like Grundfos, there is AVK, which makes valves and pipes, which has 3 factories in India. So I think India certainly needs Danish expertise, Danish technology in our ambitious plan to provide clean water to our population and to reduce water leakage. My recommendation would be to form some kind of a consortium water alliance and then approach the authorities, because water ultimately, a lot of the decision making lies within the domain of the government. So we are working together with the Danish embassy and stakeholders in establishing this kind of a water alliance.